So now we are done with all the basics. So we're using all these basics. Now we'll be working on creating the components. This topic is broken into smaller pieces, so each component is discussed and made separately. So let's get started. I have placed all three screens here again, and here I'm going to list down all the components that we need. First, you're gonna again use this, and we are going to mark the patterns, and we are going to recognize the components. So this is one thing that that I found is the top navigation, and which is same here, and here we have a variation of it. So I'm gonna just simply write down top navigation, and then I'm going to mention, you can name them as you want. For starters, I am naming them, so just in case if I'm ever lost, I can find what was the part of the component that I wrote about. So I am just going to so one component is here. Next, so you see this is a button. Okay, I used the wrong action. So this is a button, icon button. This is also here. Now what I'm going to do is just write down this button, and button, since I know, or you can also know that, so you also know that this is going to come in different shapes here. So I'm just making a list of icons only, and there is a background. So I'm gonna write white background. And to avoid the confusion, I should probably just write this. Here I am going to move to the third component. So I have search bar. It is being used in two places, so I'm gonna write search. And for the next option, we have these category cards. So okay, this is getting ugly, so I'm just gonna delete these. I should probably lock the screen so they don't get deleted accidentally, and I can easily remove the vectors and the lines I add. Okay, so moving forward, these are the cards. So there are two types of cards I'm seeing. One with the background. When we were picking colors, we noticed that one had color and one did not have color. So I'm gonna write down this as this category cards, and one is with gray background, without gray background, or without background. This list, like categorizing and subcategorizing them, is going to help us make the variants. Okay, I am, to keep it clean, I'm gonna remove this. Okay, this is where we find the badges or chips. We can call it chips, and we're gonna call it chips. And these come in two ways. So what I'm seeing is some of them have leading icon, the icon behind the text, and then some of them have both leading and the trailing icon, the one that comes after the text, and some of them don't have it, like none of it, and some of them only have a leading icon. So what I'm going to do is just write this with leading icon and trailing icon. And when I'm making the components, I'm gonna define these properties, both and none. So this is how I just add these. Okay, we are gonna need a card, just another card. So I'm mentioning adding some names next to the cards. So these are the category cards. Now I'm gonna say this offer card, and for offer card it is only one, so there is no variation. Store card, you guessed it right, store card. So it says saved stores, and there is a card, and then there is another card, a bit wider one in the same with same components. So I'm gonna say with tag. And there is one detail, one more detail that I just noticed is that these cards don't have these tags, but these ones have. So I'm gonna write this down: with tag, without tag, which means we are going to need another a tag component too. So we will add that when we are making this. Okay, so you see we also have this button which is icon only but with a gray background. So I go back in the section where we're talking about, we are making the list of buttons. So icon only, but the detail says gray background. Okay. Okay, we missed one button, which was this. I'm calling it primary button. And do we have other kind of buttons? Just let's quickly find it. So white background with shadow and white background without shadow. We have two types of buttons. So icon only, with shadow, without shadow, and with shadow. And I'm gonna add this detail here too, with shadow. Okay, what other buttons we have? We are just quickly gonna find buttons. This is the button, this is the button, this is the button. And yep. No, no, no. And just this is the button. Okay, there is one detail that I would like to add is, you see these are clickable areas, so I'm gonna call them buttons, and when we are making this we will see why. So I'm calling it tertiary button, and it has leading and trailing icon. Sorry, I should move this in the middle. Trailing icon, and it has no background, so which is no background, which is an important detail. Okay, I might want to increase the size. Okay, and so for the touch area detail, we can't just use these icons here. So I'm gonna add this one more type of button here, which will be icon only and no background. So yep, we have these. Okay, next component that we are going to find is, okay, so you see all of these things combined to make top navigation. So same way, all of these basic components will combine to make bottom navigation. So I'm gonna write this down as a component, bottom navigation. And for bottom navigation, there are two types of tab being used. One is selected and the others are not selected. So I'm going to write this detail. Selected, not selected. And I'm just quickly going to verify what other things I missed. And I missed something big. This one. Food card. Food card. And for food card, we have this detail, the tag, different type of tag, and some of the cards have the tag and some of cards don't. So I'm gonna write with tag and without tag. And one last component that I'm seeing is this. These are tabs, and in the tabs there is a selected version, this one, and not selected version. Okay, there is one more detail in it, that these tabs have these icons. So we have icons only version of it. And just we will take a minute to quickly verify what other components we need. I guess not, and if we find at any point, we're gonna just add it. But for starting, to get started with making the components, I think this is a good list. See you guys in the next video.